This episode of the Specialty Cropcast is brought to you by Nishino America, your partner in specialty crops. They're celebrating 25 years serving American agriculture this year. Nishino is dedicated to your success with knowledgeable field experts and innovative R&D chemistry that delivers. Stop guessing and find your solution today at www.nishino.net.
Welcome to the Specialty Cropcast on Pomes and Stones. Join us for real conversations with farmers, agribusiness owners, and industry experts as we dive into farming, products, and the business of agriculture, all from the people who know it best.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Specialty Cropcast. We're recording in the Nishino studios. We're here today to talk about a crop that we have yet to talk about because we're obviously apple and cherry growers here in northern Michigan. So we're trying to branch out into different parts of the country and talk with some folks that can offer us some knowledge and experience about some other specialty crops around the country. So obviously here we're going to be talking about peanuts, and we have Jim McArthur from Florida. In the Panhandle area, and he's here to tell us a little bit about peanuts and cotton and how they work on his family's farm. So, Jim, thanks so much for coming in and talking to us.
Sure, I feel like we just did this. Good?
Weird, eh? I know. So, tell us a little bit about your farm and your guys' operation down there.
Yeah, so we farm mainly peanuts and cotton. My father started the farm in 1974. This year, we're going to have right at 600 acres of peanuts and around 400 acres of cotton. We do a little bit of small grain with some oats, say at around 130 acres. But the bulk of the farm is all peanuts and cotton.
And then is there a rotation of those products that helps the soil be rested between usage?
Yeah, I would say most everybody. So we'll plant 1 year of peanuts, and then 2 years of cotton, and then peanuts again. It would be the most popular rotation.
So obviously in our neck of the woods, we have different problems that rain, humidity, even dryness we get. You'll get powdery mildew with dry weather. So what are some of the things that you guys are facing on your guys' farm as far as issues?
With peanuts, I would definitely say fungus. In North Florida, it can get very, very hot. During the summer, you've got a pop-up thunderstorm pretty much every afternoon. So that's a perfect breeding ground for all different types of fungus, like early, late leaf spot. White mold's a huge issue we face. So every 10 to 14 days, we're in the peanut spraying them for fungus.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's a great Nishino product, our sponsor here from the show, to help you guys deal with that white mold issue you guys have. What's that product about?
Absolutely. Yep. It's a product called Convoy. Best in the business, no doubt about it. Anybody that's a peanut farmer, if you have a white mold issue, you spray Convoy on it and it stops it in its tracks.
Takes care of it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys ever, and for us, we have a bunch of different, like apple scab we're talking about in cherry leaf spot. We use a big rotation of chemicals. Everyone kind of at all the farm shows, we talk about tools in the toolbox, right? So we're always making sure that we're rotating to help with, obviously, that's for fracs and rotating resistance management. Obviously, you guys are following some sort of similar program.
Yeah, like you said, there's a ton of different products out there that we could use. We kind of stick the same spray program, but the more modes of action you can throw at it, the better. And every year there's more and more products that are coming out for not only fungicide, herbicide, all of that.
How does your herbicide program work? Is it like something you spray down? I'm talking peanuts. Immediately after planting, are you going in after they're coming up with something different, or how does that usually shake out?
Yep. Well, we've got the dreaded pigweed, which a lot of people fight that. That's a huge issue in peanuts because there's really nothing after the pigweed is up and your peanuts are up. There's really no great product that will kill it unless it's like itty bitty. There are some products that will kill it. So we fight that. But at plant, we spray a product called Valor that works great. And that's one product. Like there's some products you can, if you forget to turn the spray on, you're like, well, you can't really tell. But if you forget with that, like you will have 6 rows of pigweeds that are just flushing up like crazy.
Yeah, gotcha.
So explain a little bit to us about how the peanut process works. I don't think any of us really know much about the process for anyone who's listening out there as well.
Yep. So we plant and say mid-April, harvest in September. So it takes about 140 days. Obviously, the peanut grows on the root. So once about 140 days, we'll check them and see if they're ready. And then we have a big called a peanut digger or inverter or shaker that flips the peanuts upside down. We let them dry in the sun for a good 3-4 days. And then we pick them with our Modest Industry peanut pickers. And then from there, they go to the peanut mill where they're sold for bulk of all of our peanuts, I've always been told, is Jif peanut butter. There's no peanut oil, all the different candies that have peanuts in them. That's kind of the process of it. Yep.
There's peanuts in like a lot of things that you don't even think about, right?
There
With
is.
the oils and all that stuff. Yeah.
Not
Very
oil,
useful crop. Yeah.
Paydays, a lot of
Yep.
stuff.
What one's
Love
your favorite,
paydays.
then? What's your favorite? Or do you just stay away from the peanut butter because you see peanuts all the time?
No, I eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at least once a week. No joke.
Yeah.
You can't beat a good Snickers bar. Not too big on paydays. Boiled peanuts. Have you ever had a boiled peanut?
Don't think so. Never heard of it.
No. Oh man, if you were in the Southeast, like every little gas station has boiled peanuts. We have a national peanut festival in a town about 30 minutes away, and but you either love them or you hate them. Like there's really very little in between.
Gotcha. So if you're taking, so you flip the plants over and then they kind of just lay out in the sun. And I'm assuming that when you actually go to pick those up off the ground with your Amada Industries harvester there, that it's probably a pretty dusty process, I'm imagining.
Oh yeah. Picking peanuts is extremely dusty for sure. My dad always likes to share a story back in the day when it was, open cab tractors and 2-row peanut pickers. He had a guy helping him and they kind of went through a bottom and he saw, his name was Oliver. He went through like picking peanuts. He went down in the bottom and just saw the huge dust cloud. And then he just sees Oliver just like running out of the dust because it got so thick, like he couldn't breathe.
Oh man.
Jeez.
Thank God for cab tractors now.
Could you imagine asking somebody to sit in the dust today? Oh my gosh, they would just have a fit. I can't work in these conditions.
Yeah.
When is the peanut ready to dig? I guess is the question. Is that what you get? You dig them up first and then turn them over?
Yeah, well, that's the same process. Yeah, so like about 140 days, we'll start checking them. We'll pull some off, and if you scrape them, like this most simple method, if you scrape the shell, if it's black, that means that it's ready. If it's not, then you can let it cook for a little bit longer. And that's a very important process because if you dig too early, you've got a lot of immatures. If you dig too late, you're losing a lot. So you want to pick that perfect time to dig them where you get the best grade and you get every peanut there. But yeah, at that point, like I say, you flip them upside down, wait 3 days, and harvest them.
So I guess it doesn't matter then if you get like a big rainstorm that comes in after those peanuts are upside down. Is there anything that affects that timing, or you can harvest those in the rain, or is that preferred because of that weather?
That's a crucial 3 days. Like once you flip them, you don't want any rain, and if you get a big rain, like you've got to wait until the peanuts are dry. You can pick them when they're a little damp, but it doesn't do a good job. Just makes a mess. So you're just praying for no rain after you plow up your peanuts.
So what turns it into a good crop or like a harvestable crop? What's your pounds per acre? How do you measure that, I guess, or what's your method?
So a 2-ton yield is good. Like if we get 2 tons, we're stoked on that. A 3-ton yield is like incredible. Like it happens. Doesn't really happen a whole lot on our farm. But yeah, I would say maybe 5,000 pounds you'd be really really stoked at. 6,000 you would be ecstatic. And a lot of that is just catching the rainfall. We're blessed. We're under irrigation. Peanuts love water. The more water, the better. Every year's different, but you get like I say, a lot of good rains and keep your disease at bay, you can make a good crop.
Do you guys have any limitations on your water usage in Florida? I guess I'm not sure because here we're okay, but I know some spots in California, they're really limiting the time you can and when you can and where your water comes from. Is that challenges you guys face in Florida?
I think it's coming for sure. We've got a report I think it's every month now. We have a flow meter on every well that we have, reporting how many gallons that we're pumping out of that well. There's really no limit as far as much as we can pump out, but I wouldn't be surprised in the future if there is.
Yeah, but I feel like that's always coming down the pipe as people are starting to get concerned about water usage, where it's going, how we're using it, especially in farming. Everyone wants to know exactly what we're up to at any given moment.
How much are you guys fertilizing? What's your fertilizer kind of program?
Well, with peanuts, they create their own nitrogen, so we do fertilize them, but we don't have to put a whole lot of nitrogen out there. We just fertilized them. We did 100 pounds of K-Mag. Let me think. We did 250 pounds. I think it was 100 pounds of K-Mag, 100 pounds of potash, maybe, and 50 pounds of nitrogen. I might have that all incorrect, but it's probably pretty close. So yeah, that's what nuts. Cotton's a little more heavy, especially with these sandy soils. If we get a huge rain, like it leaches and we lose it all. Cotton, we're usually around 400 pounds. We just kind of do a base mix. And we also do direct inject. We have a KBH 12-row nitrogen rig that will put about 30 gallons directly at the row of cotton of 20,005.
Nice. So now that we're talking about cotton, obviously I don't think that's necessarily a specialty crop, right? I think that falls out of that realm of a specialty crop. But I don't really know much about cotton. I heard something interesting in a conversation that you guys actually spray like a burn down chemical on the cotton at a certain point to try and either kill that foliage. Is it before harvest that you guys would do something like that?
Yeah, so shortly before harvest, we'll have a defoliate spray, like 3 different products that you spray on the cotton to make it shed all the leaves. There's a boll buster to make the top bolls. Go ahead and let them open up fully. Then you usually wait about 2 weeks after you sprayed, and then you can pick it.
Gosh, I feel like there's so much different timing. I mean, cherries, we're a 60-day crop. So, I mean, you guys are more than double what we're doing. It's like when we see that bloom open up, you can almost mark it on your calendar that it's darn near exactly 60 days, regardless of kind of how this, if you have a cold spring, it always heats up just like we're seeing here. But that's very, very interesting how crops can be so spread out. Even apples are a touch longer than that, but yeah. Every once in a while, we touch on a little bit of technology. Is there some interesting tech out there or something that's new to the peanut or cotton market that's exciting?
Yeah, for sure there is. We've done a lot of work with Amatis Industries, and they've got a new bulldog digger that has forget the exact name they call it, but it's like an automatic depth control. So when you're digging your peanuts, it's got like a sonar, like a fish finder, and you can tell exactly where the roots are. So as you're digging your peanuts, the tractor is like automatically raising the hitch or bringing it up a little bit higher. So you're at that perfect level the whole time. Because that's a very important job on the farm. Usually, like, you put the best guy on the tractor because you don't want to be too deep or you don't want to be too shallow. You're cutting off your peanuts. So that's a big thing coming with peanuts. I'm sure I'm missing a lot, but that's one that pops in my mind.
Yeah, that's probably pretty important. Yeah, just cut your losses out right there. So if you don't have that, does someone just feel it out then, or how does that work?
Yeah.
Are you just harvesting and you kind of see that plant's coming out good?
Yeah, you just kind of look behind you and you see that tap root, and you don't want a huge tap root. You want about maybe like 2 inches. So you just kind of have to watch that and make adjustments throughout the day to make sure you're not going too deep or too shallow.
Yep. Zach, I think this is a great time for you to share your story. Zach just got some GPS on his tractor, and it was when you were borrowing our tractor to mark your rows out. And maybe tell the folks about your incident losing the Packer, because you just don't have to look back.
You're not paying attention, and all of a sudden look back and the cultipator's gone. You do 2 rows over, hung up on a big old rock.
Just lost it right off the back.
Yep. Right off the back of the fumigator.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You get too comfy in that GPS, and all of a sudden,
right?
Oh my goodness! So, talk a little bit about, you have a podcast, right?
Like when I first started Field Rows in 2020, I was just going to do it all, and we had a podcast for a couple years. But geez, it's probably been 2-3 years since we put out an episode.
Gotcha. Well, explain a little bit about Field Rows then. What was your motivation behind that?
Well, I guess just growing up, I always loved making videos and stuff. Of course, my mom had like the old school VHS camera that weighed 20 pounds. And never grew out of it. On the farm, I would always like record throughout the year and just burn little snippets to like a DVD to watch. And then I would like upload them on my personal YouTube. Like had no plan with it. I just like, man, it'd be cool to have this, And every year I would make like a recap of the year and just put like some punk rock music behind it or something. And then I think it was 2020 or maybe 2019, I got sick. I had the flu. And like all the YouTube farmers at the time started popping up, like Zach Johnson and all the big guys. And I'm like, man, I'm already doing this, but I'm just, I'm burning the DVD. Like, there's a way I can make money off of this, and I love doing it. Like, man, I'm behind the ball. So at that point, I was like, well, we should, start sharing more to YouTube, I guess.
Huh. When did you kind of realize that it was actually taking off and people were paying attention?
Well, when you first start, you want to get to that 1,000 followers or subscribers so you can monetize. And I would say after 1,000 is like when it really, really clicked off. And then just kind of grew from there. We grew a lot in like 23, but I don't know, YouTube's funny. I feel like now it's just kind of stagnant. But definitely after the first 1,000, it seemed like it moved pretty quick.
So has creating the content kind of changed how you think about ag in general? Like, do you see comments or something, or people are more curious about certain things, or do you find that people want to cause problems by seeing certain things? Or have you changed what you record because you know the kind of trouble it'll bring online if somebody sees something?
Right. Not so much with YouTube. Like Facebook people's a different crowd. They want to argue about everything. I feel like the YouTube fans are more core. They appreciate, like, I feel that we show the good and the bad and the ugly. We're not just showing everything's perfect. Like, people want to see when you have a breakdown. That's what makes entertaining content. And although you don't want to film it that day, you're like, man, for instance, say like the peanut picker clogged up or a tire ran off the peanut picker. Like, I don't want to film this, but this would be pretty good content. So yeah, just being authentic and, showing people what it's truly like to work on a farm.
Yeah, I agree. One of the videos, and it was burning brush, there was the comments on YouTube were just firing off because I was telling a story about when I had started burning some brush on a farm. There was this lady whose house was like a quarter mile down the road, but the wind was kind of headed that way, so it was just a little spunky. I mean, there was snow. It was snowing that day because it was so early in the spring. And she came down and she was standing by the fire. And of course, I'm driving the tractor away and then bringing brush back down to the burn pile, right? And she's recording at the burn pile saying, like, he has to be here watching the fire. She kept calling the fire department. We always call the Milton Township and let them know we're going to be burning, so that when people call, that they don't send, the whole group down there. And she was very adamant that I was going to burn her house down from a quarter mile away with smoke. And so I was telling that same story on that recent YouTube video, and people in the comments were like, I would have just showed her my 9-gauge, or I bet that fire gets pretty hot. Like, you could probably lose a Karen in there. And I was like, man, there's some fired up. There's some patriots on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. And I'm telling you, nobody likes anything more than negative. They just love the breakdowns. They're like, oh, we had the best crop we've ever had and everything was sunshines and daisies. And they're like 6 views. Yeah. You're like, my most expensive thing broke and it ruined this, and it's like 1 million views. And you're like, oh, cool. I see where you guys are at.
Yeah.
If I was smart, I would just fake everything and just see how far you could grow this channel. Just stage everything, just make everything look so dramatic, like a Mr. Beast style video. So
yeah.
Leave the love nuts loose on the planet or something like that.
Just go for it, right?
a little sabotage in the booting. That is so funny. And that show is now on Acres TV, right?
It is. So the content we make with YouTube. This time you're about 1 video a week is about all I can crush out. We were doing a lot more, about 2 to 3 when things a little bit slower. But you can find it at Acres TV under Field Rows.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but they sent us a nice little sign. This podcast goes on there as well. So
I did see that. Nice.
Yeah, people will see this on there when it gets on there eventually. I'm a couple episodes behind on that. All right, so obviously we talked a little bit about all of the crops that you're working with, but we didn't talk about anybody that's kind of on the farm. Is this you said your dad started the farm? He's obviously still there with you? I've seen in the videos, and anybody else that's working for you? What's your guys' crew look like?
So we probably got the best crew we've ever had, and I'm not just saying that. Dad's still on the farm. I would say he's maybe 90% retired. He still loves to run the peanut digger. That's the one job he does. And he might disc a little bit during the year and odds and ends. And then we've got Keith, he's great. Kyle, Poncho, my twin brother Randy helps out a little bit, and then myself. So good crew.
Nice. And so you guys are obviously doing plenty down there with the amount of acreage that you're doing. So how do the jobs get broken up necessarily? Is everyone doing everything, or do you have certain guys that kind of do certain things?
Yeah, just kind of, I guess the guys kind of fall into place and stay that way. Keith, he sprays pretty much all the cotton for us. He's the cotton sprayer. Kyle sprays majority of all the peanuts. Poncho's been running the strip till. This is his second year running it. So although we can pretty much everybody can do everything. I would say the majority of everybody's got their same job that they do every year, which is good because, let somebody get familiar with that, and they're not just jumping from one thing, to the next.
You guys don't utilize any extra labor like us. We're heavy on the H2A program to help get all of our apples picked and run our harvesters during cherry season. But it sounds like you guys are so, and you don't really need that much labor around. And it sounds like you have a solid crew, so you guys don't dip into any extra labor force.
No, usually with the crew we got, we can handle it all. The only time when we might need someone else is when we overlap with picking peanuts and cotton harvest. Sometimes toward the tail end of peanut harvest, we'll kind of overlap a little bit. At that point, we might pick up an extra guy, but usually we always make it work.
Gotcha. And so obviously all of us have seen online that you have quite the brother on the farm. Can tell us a little bit about Randy and what that brings to your guys' farm?
I don't think it brings a whole lot. Yeah, got Jennifer.
I did notice how he left him out of any jobs.
Yeah, I didn't hear much about Randy and the jobs there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen him on social media. He's pretty much on that a lot. But yeah, twin brothers. We don't really get along a whole lot. And yeah, he's kind of in and out. He has aspirations to be a rock star, so he's always working on a song. And to be honest, it's been an issue having him back at the farm. He worked at he was like a manager for GameStop for probably 5 or 6 years, and he came back to the farm maybe like 2019 or so.
What happened at GameStop that had him moving on?
It's actually a pretty funny story. So it's when the PlayStation 5 came out, whatever year that was, but he refused to sell the PlayStation 5 because he thought the PlayStation 4 was just as good as the 5. So he wasn't pushing the product. He was just talking people out of a sale. And so they let him go. And that's when he came back to the farm.
So yeah, I've seen he's been pretty disruptive on the farm, and some of his recent posts trying to get people to adjust some plows and pointing out bubbles on tires and stuff like that. So I bet he kind of slows down the operation a touch, yeah.
He loves to play boss man. Like if he can tell somebody what to do, even if he has no clue how to tell them what to do, he's going to be first in line to let you know that he's the boss. Yeah.
So it can obviously be pretty distracting then. Do you have to tell him to, get the hell out of here when there's farming to get done? Or?
All the time. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we don't G-haul at all. And then he usually will run to my dad and complain. And I feel bad for dad because he's stuck in the middle. Of course, it's like everybody's dream to work on a farm with your two sons. I mean, he would never admit it, but if Randy never came back to the farm, would be much better.
Have you wrote any letters out to any local gas stations or anybody else that do a job application for him?
That's a great idea. I should definitely try to find him a new job pretty quick.
He could be selling somebody boiled peanuts instead of trying to drive a tractor.
There you go. Work at a circus or another one.
I actually put a couple questions together. A little bit of I guess you would call it a rapid fire. Jim versus Randy. A little bit of Jim versus Randy. I'm going to read something, and what we're going to do is ask Randy these questions. Hopefully, if we can get him on the podcast, and we'll see how many of you guys answer the same ones or would guess at the other brother fits this scenario better? All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Who's the better farmer?
Me.
Better tractor operator?
Me.
The best mechanic?
For sure, me.
Let's go with better at backing up a trailer.
Me, no doubt.
Okay. And who's dad's favorite?
Me, yeah.
And who's the better looking twin?
Definitely me. For sure.
Okay. Okay. So if we put Randy in the chair, you think he's gonna say that you fit all those better than he does?
Oh no, he'll definitely say that me for every one of those. And I don't want to come off sounding cocky with all those answers, but it's definitely the truth.
I did notice that there wasn't much delay. You kind of heard only came in one year, and you just boom, it was you right off the roof.
You said rapid fire, so I wanted to be quick.
Nah, that's true. I love it. This guy's paying attention. We like that.
Yeah.
We like that. Oh man. Okay, so do you guys have anything else? Got some more questions? What else didn't we touch about? What else happens in Florida that we should know about farming in Florida? Are there any other oranges? I mean, what else do you know?
No, oranges are further south. We're at the tip top of Florida. Mainly just a lot of peanuts, a lot of cotton. There are some produce, cucumbers, watermelons, celery, broccoli, stuff like that. But the bulk of it would be peanuts and cotton.
Gotcha.
Are you guys noticing like less farm acres, more housing, like encroaching in on farmlands, or not really in that area?
I would say not so much in our area. I think in Georgia, they're the farmlands getting taken up a little bit, but our town's so small. Like, what's there is going to be farmland forever. I don't see it ever growing, and a subdivision coming. So,
yeah. So, like here, what we're seeing in our area is we have a really big tourist city in Traverse City, Michigan. And so everybody kind of wants to be here. And the year when COVID hit, I think they said that we had the highest concentration of millennial millionaires, like in the state. We're moving up here because you could work from home and it was such a beautiful spot. And all we're seeing now is farmland going up for sale because either people want to get potentially out of farming and they don't have a succession plan, or they don't have kids that want to be interested in it. And so you're seeing this land going away, and you also see this older generation, like I said, that they don't have a plan. So do you guys see something like that? What is your age group, or what's that dynamic look like for you guys?
As far as the people moving in, you're saying?
I meant like just age-wise. So like we have a lot of older farmers that have kids that don't want to farm, and then all of a sudden that land's going up for sale. Do you guys have multi-generational families that are farming and keep it going? Or
in our community, I would say it's a lot of it is generational families. Father started farming, now the son's farming. And there's a lot of young farmers in our area, and there's a lot of old farmers. I feel like we would kind of be split down the middle, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yep.
We don't see that. You go to the orchard shows, and it's you guys are the youngest.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I mean, we just can't afford to expand our farms, right?
Well, not down that road. No, we have some farmland around us here that's going for $25,000 to $30,000 an acre.
Ooh, wow.
Which it's tough to beat. It's tough to buy land like that, especially you can't afford to buy that land and farm.
Yeah,
but I mean, even so, you find yourself favorable leases or something like that. But even in southern Michigan, the for irrigated land, it's $400 something bucks an acre just to lease that. So I mean, even that's not even that attractive to do, especially when, crops like apples and cherries take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years to actually get a crop. And then the crop's small. So, it takes you till year 10 on cherries to actually get a sizable crop that probably even covers your costs. There's so much capital investment right off the bat, in those crops. It makes it really unattractive.
You said 10 years for like a cherry, for you actually to pick a cherry?
Yeah. So we'll plant it and it'll take like 5 to 7 years before you actually want to crop it, or actually grab it with the equipment, because if the trunks aren't the right diameter, you'll smush the trunk and then it stunts the growth and then the tree's useless.
Yeah.
So by year 10, you actually might get something that's a sizable crop. I mean, they'll have cherries in those younger years, but nothing you want to go after and attack, or you're just going to be shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. The first 5 years, you're almost spraying them with something so they don't crop, because you just want all that energy to go into tree growth and not into raising a crop. Yeah. So, you're like thinning them. It's,
So you're
well,
spending a pile of money on it before you ever get anything, huh?
a pile.
Yeah, which makes it unattractive to pay $450 an acre to not make any money off of it for the first, X amount of years. But leases reflect that. They do, it increases as production goes.
Yeah.
But still, it's a long time. It's a big capital investment. Apples are a little cheaper, a little earlier. You can get them in 3 to 4 years. You can start getting something out of them. Mostly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you knew this, the kind of way you sounded like we don't plant like a seed and then the tree grows. What we do is we buy like a rootstock and we plant it, or you buy it from a nursery, which they do this process where you buy rootstock of whatever variety you want. And that depends on the type of system that you're growing, whether it's high density apples or how vigorous you want the tree or kind of in your soil type. There's so many different things you can think about that actually cause your decision making on your rootstock. And then you actually take a bud from one of the trees from the vegetative growth, and we do chip budding. You cut that bud off and you cut a slot into that rootstock and we graft it and tape it. And then you let that grow for a year, you cut the rootstock off, and then you have a new shoot. That's your actual plant variety, whether it's a cherry apple, whatever. And then as that grows up, that becomes the actual trunk of the tree.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So that's quite.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that's quite.
I've learned a lot about berries today.
That's good. Good information then.
Yeah.
Right.
But one time you'll be in a bar somewhere and you'll be like, "Hey, I talked to these guys once, and they knew about tart chips." Well, is there anything else that you wanted to chat about before we go, or any other questions you have?
Nah, man, I feel like we covered it.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, me too. Well, we appreciate your time. Obviously, it took us a little bit to get going here, but I think we got it finally figured out. So I obviously again really appreciate your time for coming in, and obviously you guys for taking the time out of your evening to chat with me and Jim and hang out on the Specialty Cropcast and the Nashino Studios.
Nice. Well, if you come to Florida, hit me up. We'll give you a tour of the farm.
I would love to see that for sure. All right. Well, if no one has anything else for Jim,
thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on.
Yep. Well, this has been great. This podcast is available anywhere you get your podcast. We have clips on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, obviously podcast everywhere you get it. Also on Acres TV, so everybody can check those links out there. I'll put them all in the description. Jim, would you like to plug any social medias where people can find you?
Yeah, just check out Field Rows on YouTube. Like I said, we post at least once a video a week. Also on Acres TV. And of course, you can follow my brother on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Just Google Field Rows. It'll pull up.
It'll pull everything out. All right, I like that. All right, guys, this has been a great episode. Thanks for coming in, and we'll catch everybody on the next episode of the Specialty Cropcast.
See you.